Alright, today I'm going to replace this leaky saddle here. There's some roots that have grown under it. I'm going to just give you a little example of how to replace most likely one of these compression fit white saddles, or what I always see. What you're going to need is 1, a funny pipe coupler for the funny pipe, 2, a chuck of funny pipe, 2, these are 1-inch couplers because this is 1-inch pipe, but whatever size pipe you have. Oetiker style crimp clamps I recommend over the hose style clamps that you tighten with a screwdriver. A small chunk of 1-inch, of course your cutter, and your crimping tool. Alright, let's get to it. First off, I'm just going to get the old saddle out of the way here. See, it's already loose. They actually have, the roots have broken. Make sure you don't get any gunk in there any more than necessary. And just get that old white saddle out of the way. You can use either your cutter or your crimping tool. You're going to want to cut back these roots as well. Hopefully you're catching all this in the view. At this point, oh, I forgot to mention you also need a saddle. At this point, you could actually put this saddle on. And these blazing saddles just clip over, push down, they click and lock on. And you line up the hole, because this bit will fit in the old hole and line up. That is the easy way to do it. It sometimes works, but sometimes they'll leak. I'm going to show you the absolute sure way that these will not leak. We are going to replace this totally. Now you're going to get your cutter. I'm going to cut right at the hole. Bigger holes are always better. They're going to give you more room to work, but when you're dealing with roots, it might not necessarily be easy to dig a huge hole. Then I'm going to cut about halfway in the hole, and this will make it easy for me to pull up on both ends. And see, there's dirt in this pipe anyways. I wanted to get it out of there. There's dirt on both ends. So right now, grab some of your clamps and put them on these pipes. I recommend 2 on each side of a fitting. You can use 1 if you don't have enough, but 2 is highly recommended. You could either pump or bail out this hole. I don't really feel it all that necessary when I do stuff to totally clear it of water. It just takes time for me more than anything. It can get messy when it splashes, but rubber mallets are also handy to get those in there. Don't necessarily hit fittings with these metal crimpers, sometimes even poly cutters. If you hit them, they'll snap. Important when you're doing alternating crimp clamps that you leave a small gap in between them, and also that you make sure that where the crimp is aren't in alignment. You want them to be alternating, because then if any water passes through, it won't get to the other side of the crimp clamp. Alright, I got both those in there. I pretty much can put one in on the other side as well. Perfect. And continue to clamp this side. And see, sometimes when you crimp these too hard, like this clamp, I felt it give way and pop. They'll pop off the back. And you go ahead and just disregard that clamp, put a fresh one on. All right, now when I got room, I'm gonna put the other end of the funny or swing pipe coupler in. Don't need to use a mallet on those, but it helps. Then I'm gonna take my blue pipe. There's also black pipe, which is probably gonna be more likely available. I'm gonna measure it with my thumb, mark it, cut it, making sure that this is still gonna fit in there. And then I'm gonna pull this side up once again, tap it on with a mallet. Grab 4 clamps, 2 for each side. I'm gonna pull both ends, and it will help a lot to have a lot of room. This is about 16 inches, which is about the minimum I can do it in. But I've had a lot of practice. I recommend probably about a foot on each side to get a fitting, to put a straight coupling fitting in there. Crimp one on that side. Do this because in case one of these snaps, now that it's all together, I will let it just go with one clamp. And if you don't have these blazing style saddles available, you can use one of these compression fits and put it on there, tighten it down, put a new elbow in, and reconnect it. But I'm going to use this blazing saddle. I like them a lot better. Just a personal preference kind of thing. And these just make a hole as they thread in. I'll click, that's in. I'll screw the elbow in. I'm most likely gonna put it about here. I'm gonna take another chunk of funny pipe, wiggle it on, maybe even a little more, and then line it up where I think it's gonna need the funny pipe cut. Cut the funny pipe, the swing pipe